I love doing work twice, by the way, if you didn't know. It's what I live for. You know, doing work for free, when manufacturers... Jesus. Your manufacturers cock up. I love it. Right, I've just called back on this job where we fitted the boiler and some of the radiators. I've got a couple of radiators to finish off. I've still got the filter to get on the boiler. You can see the kitchen's all in. They're having a granite worktop. Boiler's all in the cupboard. Everything should be nice and accessible still for servicing and stuff. It's always a little bit of a worry. Not that anybody would deliberately screw you over, but sometimes kitchen fitters don't always realise you need clearances and stuff. But yeah, that one looks fine. So yeah, we'll carry on with the radiators. I'll get that filter on, and that's pretty much going to be this job wiped up as far as I can go. Obviously, when the kitchen worktop goes in, we can get the tap and everything plumbed in, and then we've still got the bathroom to look at, but they're not too worried about getting that done at the minute, the bathroom, I don't think. So yeah, we'll just plod along, see what we can get done, and yeah, just carry on. So in this room, we've got this tall one in this corner, and we've also got this one going under the bay, which I'm going to do next. Hopefully I've got all my pipes in the right place. If not, I can still lift the floors up and move them, but I did actually measure this one out, so it should be right. There is a diverter in these rads, obviously to force the water to the top, but they're not actually marked inlet and outlet. Normally you'd have your flow coming in here, because then it would force the water to the top. Obviously I don't really know which is my flow and return, so a little bit of guesswork, but it is something to watch out for on this type of radiator. Right, these are the brackets that come with the radiators. All these do is hook behind on the back and then twist around. Like that. And then just tighten up, and then that bit with the plastic washer sits behind, so that bit drops on, if that makes sense. The bottom ones I'm going to have to lift up to miss the skirting board. So that goes on there like that. And then that sits behind, if that makes sense. Easiest way of working out these brackets is just literally mock them up on the floor. So feed that one underneath. So that's locked in. And then feed your bottom one in as well. And then just literally make sure they're tight, and literally just mark the bottom. Obviously, if you've got a floor you can draw on, there's no carpets down. And that'll give you the perfect centres, bottom to bottom of your brackets. What I'd normally do is work out from the bottom of my radiator, but it's going to hit the skirting board. So I'm going to do it an inch down from the top, and the bottom of the radiator will just have to hang over the skirting board a little bit, but it'll be fine. So put a little centre mark on. We'll measure centre from here to the centre of that way, or that'll be the centre of that bracket, and likewise that way, and we'll just get that mounted on the wall. That's the centre of the radiator. So it needs to be 470 either side of centre. 470. 65, that's the centre of them brackets. 465. This is the centre of them brackets. The rad's going to sit roughly an inch down from the top, or 25mm in new money, and we just need to measure from the top to the bottom of that first piece. From the top of the radiator to the bottom of that, we'll go to the bottom, is 150mm. So we want to be 175mm down, because that will leave an inch. 175. That's the bottom of the fixing, and the fixing to work. If you look at the marks on the floor, the bottom to the bottom was 350. They're the bottoms. So we just need to get these fixed on the wall. And that should be bang on for us. Probably not how everybody would do that, but that's how my brain works. And it's whatever works for you. So that's all 4 brackets on the wall. It's got these little plastic things to obviously stop the radiator clicking as it heats up. I will be taking this back off. It's not finished, it's only been miscoated out. I think I just had my radiator up, it actually looks a little bit too far apart on the pipes, so I can lift these boards and I think they will shimmy across a little bit because there is like a suspended floor underneath. But we'll drop the radiator on and see what it looks like. Yeah, so much is a little bit out with my pipes. Then you actually need to go back a little bit more as well. And the rad don't quite look level, but I can adjust it on the thing. It actually might be the window board that's not level rather than the rad. But I always think it looks better to make it look right and rather be right, if that makes sense. So yeah, we'll sort that little mess up out. Don't always get things right. I actually don't know what's gone wrong there because I thought I measured it, but clearly not. And we'll get it sorted. A little bit of Loctite in my life. Just been called out to this job. It came through as a priority 1, so we have to attend straight away. I think it's just leaking at the top of that strainer block. I'll have to knock the water off there and there. Just whip out that and see if I can put that in. All that's in there is a strainer and check valve, but I'll see if I can sort it. I don't carry any bits for these horn blenders on the van, but I think I should just be able to make it good. I think it's just running down. So yeah, we'll get a pair of grips in and see if we can make that good. So these have got a built-in isolator. They're good blenders, to be fair. These expensive, but good. So we just whip the hot and cold off, let the pressure go out the tap, and we'll put it off. I think it's just might be left-hand thread actually. Sometimes they're left-hand thread. I mean, it's tight. You can see. So inside here, it's just a strainer, just an O-ring. So what I'm going to do is just wrap some Loctite on that, I think. And that'll probably sort it. Probably not making it easy for the next man, but at the end of the day it's leaking, innit? Just wrap I'm not going to go mental with the Loctite. I'm just going to make like another O-ring on the top. It came through as a complete flood, so you never know what you're going to expect when you walk into these things. But yeah, we only fix what we find, don't we? I went to one earlier where somebody had took an isolation valve off, handyman had took an isolation valve off in a care home, and well, I think he'd nipped it up. But anyway, the valve ended up blowing off and it completely flooded the kitchen. I didn't film any of that. He couldn't find where to turn the water off. When I got there, there was about 2 inches of water everywhere. We mopped it up, like, got it sorted. It was only a 5-minute job. As quite a few jobs are, but you can only, as I say, you can only do what you can do. I'll get the hot and cold back on. So I say I do get a lot of easy jobs as well as the hard ones, but take the easy ones and the hard ones. I'd be surprised if that was a leak, to be honest with you now. Just make sure it's not leaking from anywhere else. Sometimes they can leak out the spindle, but I don't think it is. Problem with this job, I was like an hour away as well, but as I say, you know, it needs fixing, doesn't it? We'll leave it a few minutes anyway. I think we're alright. Looks pretty good to me. If we was to do a DFT check on that blender, we'd run the hot tap like so, and we just turn the cold off and the hot tap will shut like that. I haven't quite got the cold all the way off, but yeah, that's passed. See, the hot tap stopped. That's just checking the blender, so as soon as we turn that back on, temperature feels good on it as well. So yeah, no issues with the blender. Basically, if the water would be turned off into the building, if the blender wasn't working, it could come through scalding hot. If the cold was turned off and the hot was still on, you see, so that's why we check. That's why I always check them. I think it's going to be job done though. Probably ought to keep a few spares for them in the van, but it's what it is. You can't keep everything. I've got this boiler to swap out. I fitted this last week, and if you'd seen the previous videos or one of my previous videos, it went bang on me. So I've got the new one now. It should just be a case of undoing my pipe connections, obviously unscrewing it off the wall. Electrician's coming in a bit to flex it back in, and then hopefully this one don't blow up on my face. So yeah, we'll get it done. Always look on the brighter side, at least it's holding pressure. How am I going to do this? I'm going to valve off my flow, and I'm going to valve off the return on that filter. Valve off that and valve off that. Do I drain it? Probably, I am just going to drain it through the PRV. There's an auto air vent inside the boiler anyway. You shouldn't do that, don't drain them through the PRV. I have got a drain off top on my pipework low down, but bad, very bad practice that. But it needs must sometimes. We'll just get everything disconnected. I say it'll be a straight swap. It'll be a straight swap. Might just be a drop in these pipes here, but won't be a lot on the flow. It won't be a lot. I might just be able to lift the boiler up, to be fair, anyway. That's why you're supposed to connect them with flexi hoses, but I did speak to Strom, and they did say you can connect them with female lines as long as you don't twist the connections. Flexi hoses don't last 2 minutes on heating. I've got my dish underneath it anyway, so. So I was going to check for dead on these connections, but he said he's disconnected it in the fuse board anyway, and he's already disconnected the cable out of it. So that's obviously our mains one coming in, and then that's just our heating controller. So I'll get them disconnected, and then this thing will just lift off. Yeah, I'm dead open. The new one don't go bang. There's no signs of scorch marks or anything like that, but we're going to do an insulation resistance test on the new one before we connect it up, make sure the elements are all right. But yeah, there's not much to these really, but it went with a hell of a bang. This should just lift up now, he says, with great trepidation. That'll be alright. I just basically drop the new one back on, put the screws back in it, and the electrician will wire it up. But just nightmare job. I don't lose sleep over many jobs, but this one I've lost sleep over. I know it's not worth worrying about, but when stuff's out of my hands, I do worry. Too much probably. Don't know. We'll get it sorted. I don't know why it's wet through in the box, but they've maybe tested this one. So I've whipped them caps off. Look how wet it is. It's gone rusty. Yeah, just put the connections back on and hopefully it works. I've just hung it on the top screw. I've just got to try and lift everything up and back in. Ow, that just hurt my arm. Right, I'll get a couple of screws in it. Can't quite get that one on, but it'll probably go. Yeah, we got it. Threaten it a bit. Right, we'll screw it on the wall and then we'll just have to get it wired up. I love doing work twice, by the way, if you didn't know. It's what I live for. You know, doing work for free when manufacturers... Oh, Jesus. Your manufacturers cock up. I love it. You know, we all like working for free, don't we? We're all connected back up. We'll put some water in it. I'll probably do for a minute. One bar in there. That one back on. Filter back on. I will have to check the inhibitor levels. Everything's on. Yeah. What I'll probably do is swap the panels on the side of the boiler, just so I don't have to put the knockouts back in. So I just put the proper things and everything on. Yeah. Don't know. I apologise, Strom, one of your screws is behind the cylinder. Apparently, according to your paper, you're going to charge me £150 if there's any screws missing or any holes in the case. But you're more than welcome to come collect it yourself. I'll send you the address across, it's just down there. So yeah, all I've done is swap the plates. That's my joke at sarcasm, by the way, because I'm not happy. Yeah, I'm not going to say too much, but yeah, on the paperwork it says if there's any like holes in your cases or anything like that, £150 they'll charge you, even though it's their product that's faulty. So yeah, I did genuinely drop the screw. I didn't do it deliberately either, and I can't reach it, so they're more than happy to come and take the cylinder out and collect it if they want. So yeah, that's my little rant over. Just showing Strom there's absolutely no damage to the unit. It's even got the protective film on it still. The case is perfect. All I'm going to do is box it back up because they're going to charge me £150 if it's damaged in any way, shape or form. So I'll put all the screws back in, bar that one that I dropped. You can have that back. So yeah, as you can see, absolutely perfect. It's mint, that. Apart from it nearly killed me, but we're not going to go into that. I have accidentally ripped the bag though while trying to get it back in. I do apologise for that. So yeah, if you're going to charge me for that, I'll send you my billing address. Yeah, look, you can have that back. As good as new, well, I say good as new, it didn't actually work, did it? So, as good as old is the saying in this time. Yeah, there you go. I had to cut the straps though, Strom. So you can pick, the courier can pick them up from my office as well. And if he doesn't, I'll charge you a fly tipping, and it will cost you a lot more. So yeah, I'll leave them for him as well. So you've got everything back exactly how it was. You know, we don't want no fine. We don't want no fine. I'm just saying. So at least this one didn't go bang on us. We're just setting the time and date on the programmer. Obviously we've got a wireless room start. You don't know how relieved I am that didn't blow up in my face. So yeah, hopefully we should be alright on this job now. It's all in the detail. So the boiler's struck up now for heating. That's why the pressure's just dropped a touch. So I can go around and check the radiators. I think we have got a slight issue with the wiring or the programmer, but it is only a minor issue. I've just had to lock open the valve for a second, but it has fired the boiler. But we'll have a look at that in a minute. Nothing serious. Right, this is actually working now. There's a little bit of air in it, but they don't put the air tap at the top of the unit, which would make sense. Air tap's halfway up. Obviously heat exchanger there. I'm going to put the lid back on. But we've got the valves are all working. It was only because it wasn't on the programmer, so I can put that back on auto actually. Yeah, I just need to check the rads and stuff. I probably sounded a little bit sarcastic in that last bit, but yeah, it's kind of an insult when they send you a document through to sign. Obviously, I can't really say too much, but obviously they're going to charge me if the case is damaged, X, Y and Z. Well, it ain't my fault if their product's faulty, is it? It literally blew up in my face last time when I switched it on. And I lost, well, my ears were ringing, my left ear was ringing for 3 hours. So it is a bit of an insult when they won't even take responsibility for their product. So yeah, that's all I'm going to say on the matter. I've got a lot to be grateful for, really. The fact that the new one didn't blow up in my face, I am actually grateful. So thank you for not sending me an exploded unit. It's like Del Boy with his dolls, isn't it? Jesus Christ, like, yeah. But yeah, so I was being sarcastic. It's the lowest form of humour. Is that the right word? But yeah, probably going to end the video there, just because I'm on my way home now. All the heating's working there. They're happy, which is always the main thing. As long as the customer's happy, I was safe enough.